You did that for a Hot Pocket?
Yes. All that for a Hot Pocket.
You broke into a bank for a Hot Pocket?
Hot Pocket. Hot Pocket.
Was it worth it?
Hell yeah, it's worth it. Yeah, it's worth it. A Hot Pocket? Hell yeah.
Listen, moms, Hot Pockets are exactly what a hungry boy wants in a snack.
Hot Pockets.
Welcome, everybody, to the Plumes of Hazard. These talkity bastards are my co-hosts. Oh, wait, and they're still muted. I left them muted right now because because they're talking the entire...
In this,
all right,
Massey and I are never in the same fucking room. Like, this is the last chance we've had. This is the first chance we've had to catch up in a while.
That's right. I am your host, as always, the Angstful Vapor. To my left is the lovely, the talented Fu Baka. Right down there below me is the voider of oranges himself, the master of blasters, Mass Blast 09, and then down there in the bottom left, as far away from me as I can currently get him, so that way we can spread out the paleness a little bit throughout the screen, is Understudy 77. We're joining us again this week.
If it's any consolation, like even in this layout, we're always touching in some way.
Just a little
no way around that.
Sludge.
We're just touching less.
To your fridge, 1 second. Well,
yeah, welcome.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to catch up with Mass because I always show up when Mass can't make it.
Yeah, that's right.
No. That's why when he was in here, I was like, wait, don't go.
I actually didn't plan on coming on. I came in here to bug Fu about something, and then Brian was like, I want you to stay. I want to talk about stuff.
Yeah.
So I decided to stay.
We got some follow-ups from last week that we needed to talk through. Howdy, Hooligans. Good to see you guys.
Take a chat link, please.
What up?
Yeah, sure. Uno.
What up and hello and all those things.
Por favor. Shut.
It's cerveza. Oh. What is it?
Is it a White Claw?
White Claw's not a cerveza.
I know.
Come on, Tom. I was repping this last week.
Yeah.
It's a mujerbesa.
I just want to say something to Quad. I'm not going to reference the first part of what he's saying, but I am going to reference the back. It's only a waste of time or expensive if you're not enjoying yourself and you don't have the money. It's completely ignoring the first part of his statement. Just the words expensive waste of time is all I'm referencing right now. I'm not condoning the upfront part of what he's saying.
I think
or disagreeing.
Must have missed. Oh. Yeah, I now see what you're talking about. I definitely skimmed right over that one. It's starting to look like a bad revamp of Hollywood Squares. This looks like it used to look like, which is probably like bad Hollywood Squares. That's probably true.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know that that's true because I left before the transition to Hollywood Squares style. Back then, we used to come up one off.
That's true. We had the film strip on the bottom.
Yeah. Which didn't look very Hollywood Squaresy.
No, that's true.
These are rectangles.
That's the first time that's happened.
I mean, it looks like we're still there.
All right, reconnection successful.
I don't. Oh, it's spinning now. Let's see if it goes back. Oh, it's back. It went back quick.
Yeah, I
it
guess
spun for a minute and then went back.
We had a little bit of a network hiccup, I guess.
That's when you get transferred from the regular connection to the NSA connection.
Yeah,
Rick asked headphones. Well, so I don't know if Anksy hung around, but I think Fu did when we tested the latest Google service. Remember that, Fu? Dude, you want to talk about impressive?
Is it Google Wave?
No, it's whatever the Google Hello or whatever the hell it is.
Meet?
Yeah, the Google Meet.
Meet, yeah.
So very impressed with the text to or the speak to text.
Dude, that's literally the only thing that's changed since Hangouts. That is
Dude,
it.
but it was so on point that absolutely positively
They've
know
spent years listening to our
exactly.
fucking Hangouts.
Yeah.
So I'm just
They-
gonna throw it out there. I've used it before it got really good, and it was hilarious.
It was able to transit.
Yeah. It was. I
So-
mean, like, so there was like 6 people in there, and we were all talking, and one person saying, and it knew exactly who was saying what and where. I mean, it was.
Does it
pretty
give you
spot
a
on.
live transcript or something?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was
You can
giving
have
you a
captions.
live. You know,
You
it was
can have
maybe like
captions
2 or
turned
3
on.
second delay, and I was
Yeah.
just,
It's-
of course,
it's-
me, I'm saying dumb shit and see what
When it
picks up.
screws up, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Here's the
This
thing,
one
though.
wasn't. This one wasn't screwing up very much.
I was pronouncing things phonetically,
Yeah.
and it wasn't doing. I assumed it would do a better job with that. It didn't
Yeah.
do
Right.
as good a job with that as I thought it would.
So here's the thing. The other really amazing thing about Google Meet now is that you can tile view shit.
Yeah.
So like theoretically, like y'all could stop paying for fucking Zoom and move back to Meet
Yeah.
Yeah.
without much of a problem.
That's something I thought about, and I've
No.
used Meet at work, but I didn't see the live transcript thing.
Yeah. So this was.
I'm sorry, Google
this
broke
was-
up with us.
They did.
Yeah. This was a. This
Yeah,
was
but
a
they're
what?
still free.
Zoom
Like,
is my
It
best
was,
friend
a
now.
few shows. It was a few shows
Yeah,
ago.
so was my ex-girlfriend.
and did you
That's
keep
good.
going
Ooh,
back?
I'm glad you weren't paying for that.
Oh, you're paying for it.
Free does not mean free.
And that you don't. That she doesn't have any debt on you.
Debt or dirt?
Well, I don't know there. Hopefully
I'm like,
there.
one is significantly worse than the other.
Rob said I was in the after show and the the text was great.
Yeah, Rob was there. I think Rick was there too.
It was
Yeah, Rick
pretty
was
it was pretty accurate. I was really surprised, especially when you try to trick it when other people were talking at the same time.
That's one of the things I miss when like after shows were a thing.
Yeah.
So I have some practice tricking AI because if anyone watches Twitch streams and you can get a message highlighted, or like Twitch streamers, if someone subscribes or donates or something,
Yeah.
it'll do a speech to text. So I've got a lot of practice manipulating that shit. Like Frisky, he has one. It was like a woman with an Italian accent.
Uh-huh.
That was the voice that was reading like all the messages. So I was fucking around with that the other night. Like somebody, I thought you must forget. Stuff like that. Gabagool, Ra's al Ghul, like
Sure.
Gabagool.
Speaking of Twitch, so they were talking in chat earlier today about Dr. Disrespect.
Yep.
Yeah.
With the perma ban.
Perma ban.
no one knows.
And the thing that surprised me the most about that was they're refunding his subs.
So does anyone know the what?
No,
Or the why, rather?
at least that
'Cause
I haven't seen why.
No one knows.
Yeah.
Like that's what It's like an episode of the X-Files. Mulder's like about to uncover some shit, and then like everything in the universe works against him. Then you see the smoking man.
Mm-hmm. Maybe somebody.
That's what's
cried some oil.
that's what's going on with people. Yeah, people trying to like fucking get to the bottom of this. Or
Yeah. Well, I mean, you pushed the boundaries, and first ban shouldn't have been filming in that bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
So
that was
yeah.
him.
yeah,
Other
we watched
news,
that.
I got my match fast.
We watched that live when he walked right into that bathroom. I'm like, no, don't, no.
Oh, we were in the
fuck, they were
Discord
so-
when that happened. Like when
yeah.
that shit went down live. Like
They went
Twitter
in-
Twitter blew up, and we're
They
just
went
like,
into
"Yo,
multiple bathrooms, like multiple times they went in. It's-
Oh.
You might have been
Yes,
you. Yeah, you. I think you were in the Discord too.
I was
Yeah.
watching it live, and I'm like, that's
You were just like, yes.
California.
You're like, yo, Dr. Disrespect just went in the fucking bathroom. What was that at like E3 or something? Or
Yeah, it was California,
yeah.
and went into the bathroom, and he went into the bathroom twice.
Mm.
But so yeah, they did something. So of course, you do that, you call attention to yourself. You're gonna have
Whatever. I have no sympathy for his rat looking ass.
yeah. I mean that dude's been nothing but drama
Whatever. He's
for
got
years.
more money than I could fathom right now.
Yeah.
Not as much as Ninja, right? The guy that
Oh, whatever.
Oh God.
that guy
He's
is
like-
loaded now.
Of course he is. It pays to be a shithead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really
Like
does.
he literally threatens 15-year-olds on the internet, and motherfuckers give him money for it.
Well, not only that, I'm talking about that the thing that he went away from Twitch, right? The Microsoft signed him, and then they killed that, and then he opted to not be bought out or whatever. So like he gets like $20 million or whatever it is, just gets automatic, doesn't have to do anything else. Now he can just do whatever he wants.
You know your full meta when stuff like that starts leaking over into Nextdoor, and you start seeing posts about that into Nextdoor. The latest one was, "I'm so mad at my son. He was playing Xbox and we got DDoS." And I'm like, what? So I start reading. This dude's still pissed because he's got AT&T fiber and they can't change his IP. So apparently the only way that AT&T can change your IP when you're on their fiber network is you literally have to send someone to the central office, and they have to move the port over, or they have to come. Are you
fucking kidding me? It's 2020, for God's sake.
I know. So people are like, well,
I look like I know what a dynamic IP is.
They're like, oh well, you can bypass your gateway and do all this other shit. Anyways, long story short, do IPv6, all this. So apparently this guy posts, and he's like, what's happening is there are services out there which will tie your Xbox gamer ID to your IP address, and there'll be a list where anyone can go pay $5, and all these bots will just DDoS for an hour, 2 hours, however long you want. Whoever this, so if you're playing with somebody on Xbox and they're, they piss you off or something like that, or you want to be a dick, they'll read what the gamer tag is, go to this site, look up to see when the last time the IP was searched, and it will allow you right there to pay money. And
for a botnet,
for a botnet to DDoS these people's home networks. So these parents are like, I'm trying to work from home, nothing's working, I'm gonna kill him. And people are like, it's not his fault. There's all these other people doing it.
And my shitty little kids poning noobs in the other room getting DDoSed.
Some people said that they were like, oh, he's probably just so good that everybody hates him. I'm like, yeah, either that or he's a 15-year-old talking shit on the internet and somebody got mad at him and fucking DDoS his shit. Dude, now you're on Nextdoor crying because your internet doesn't work.
CS 1.6 days was when I was more cavalier shit talker on the internet, I guess. Rather, I was being cavalier when I shouldn't have been, because someone, long story short, I died during the round and I am spectating. Lots of text boxes start flashing on my screen and saying, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up. And both my optical drives were popping up and open and out. Talking shit to the wrong people in a CS server. I got. Here's the thing. I got very lucky because that was funny. These guys are being funny. If they really wanted to fuck me that night, they could have.
Yeah.
So,
anyways.
Yeah. That shit was funny. It was perfectly synced, the opening and closing of my optical drives.
What's horror talking about? The box beat off makes me laugh. What is that?
You say box what makes you laugh?
Box beat off?
Beat off.
You like to beat off boxes?
I guess.
I got a box story that's funny.
Yes.
Do it.
No. Are any of you by chance familiar with Roblox?
Yes.
Like the kids' website?
Yeah, yes. I give my nephew shit for it all the time.
Okay, so hold on. This is where it gets kind of interesting. So, like, I'm vaguely familiar of this thing.
Yeah.
But like, it just hit the news in a big way, in a really interesting way too.
Okay.
Hundreds, if not thousands, of accounts are getting hacked of like 13 or 14-year-old kids for Roblox. And they're like, it's kids, it's easy passwords, whatever.
Right.
Like it's your basic like password crack kind of thing. Their about section is being changed to ask your parents to vote for Trump this year, and they're being given a red hat and an eagle shirt for their avatars. So there's a whole campaign going on right now of people like hacking kids' accounts in Roblox in support of Donald Trump.
That's amazing.
On this episode of 4chan So Great.
So I'm gonna share the link in the chat because like I read it and like I'm so So for anybody who doesn't know, I have a podcast about like security stuff, and fuck, am I so excited to talk about this on that because this is just like it's one of the funniest things I've seen in a long fucking time.
I loved when that kid hacked, or rather, this kid who knows computer stuff was in the hospital staying there, and he was a computer science student. And he hacked their shit and changed the sign on the door on the outside that said like your system's really insecure. I'm a college kid and I did this or something.
Mm-hmm. All right, hold on.
It's like, hey, my mom's dying in this hospital and you got shit security. Let me go make
educational security is super interesting because it's one of the only industries that you work in where the majority of your user base is actively trying to subvert you.
Mm-hmm. So
like it becomes a really interesting segment.
Is Pornhub the gold standard for cybersecurity? Real talk.
I think everybody's moving to OnlyFans now, actually, because you can charge for it.
Yes.
Well, you know what I mean in terms of people hacking, because OnlyFans gets hacked all the time.
Well, not hacked in the way.
Are you asking if Pornhub is the standard to like not be hacked?
Yeah.
I don't know if they're the standard to not be hacked, but I will tell you that I know some people.
The fact that they're more secure than your bank website, I mean.
Yeah, I will tell you that I know some people who work over there. And I will tell you that if I had an opportunity to work there, I would. And not for like the porn, but because like they have got to have one of the most interesting.
Yeah, you're gonna work there for the security, like we watch for the plot. I get it. I get it.
I'm not even fucking kidding. They have got to have one of the most interesting threat models like in the world.
Yeah.
Like the type of people who attack them, the type of data that they store.
Yeah.
Like
what does this malicious file say? The
so legitimately interesting. And so different than anything you see anywhere else. So like I think it would be fascinating to do security at a place like
probably
in the cesspool of the internet. I mean,
I think it would be 100% fascinating. But like what I don't have a lot of what I don't, the people I feel bad for, they're like electronic criminal, like e-crimes, like moderator team, and like the people looking for like abusive and like not great content,
right?
Mm-hmm.
Like those, I can't imagine the job that those people have. Like that's gotta suck.
Yeah,
and that's a hard job as it is, but at a place like that, it's gotta be even harder.
Or I can't read between the lines, man. I can barely pay attention to chat when we're actually having a conversation here.
What's wrong with having a conversation here?
Too subtle.
To answer an earlier question, Rick was actually going to be a thing I was going to mention later, but my headphones, I actually just got these yesterday. They're coming through?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I hear it.
These are the 6 Series Sennheisers that I got off Drop. The cheaper version.
They look nice.
They're awesome. Nice. The HD6, basically these are like Sonic Guts, but basically they're the same drivers as the HD 600 and 650s. The jump has been awesome. I have these previously, the 558s. These are actually, I knew these would be better. So over the last 2 days, these have been better. Like the jump has been more than greater than I expected. So that's always nice when things exceed expectations.
I mean, I've been running these Shores since forever.
Yeah,
and I love them. But I keep upgrading my amp. So like I upgraded my amp to a shit Valhalla tube amp, which is awesome.
Oh, I'm just using a Fulla.
I like the Fulla. Like I have
the original Fulla V1.
Yeah, so I have a Fulla. Wait, is the Fulla the little desk one that has the like top knob?
Mm-hmm.
So I have a Fulla at work.
Hold on.
And then I have the Magni, I think, or whatever the other little $100 one is what I used to run. And then for Christmas, like last year, my wife bought me the Valhalla 2, which I've really, really enjoyed. Yeah,
that little.
I like the Fulla a lot, though, man. It sounds great.
Around when I bought this, the Firefly V1 was on sale on Amazon. It was like $90 or $95.
I'm using a Firefly too.
So that would have been my choice, except for the fact that I would have gotten similar performance out of the Fulla for a little bit cheaper, and it had the volume knob, because that's what I wanted first and foremost, was to have volume control next to my keyboard or something. So
Yeah, so I use a
That's-
Firefly for DAC only, and then I use the Valhalla for amp, and then the headphones.
but
Because like I like the USB Fireflies. I think they're really nice and they work really well.
the clone is actually really good too. That
Is it?
Monoprice came out with the monolith. Yeah, I've heard really good things.
Oh,
about
nice.
it. It's like $80, I think, off AliExpress, $70.
I haven't upgraded the DAC component of my rig in a long time. I haven't needed to.
And yeah, you probably won't need to for a long time.
No, I
Those
already
things-
get. I mean, I could spend triple the money that I have in this and probably get a better listening experience. But at this point, like you're talking little gains.
Is your listening experience going to get triple the price better?
No, God, no. You're. I mean, that's the thing. Like once you have a decent setup, you're talking like this much gain for this much money. Like it's
that-
just not worth it.
So that said, with these anyway, so Drop runs deals on these basically, it was like a pre-order, except I feel more comfortable pre-ordering something from Drop because they have a track record of delivering products and shit,
Sure.
you know, unlike, you know, we've seen pre-orders in vape and such.
Mhm.
Plus, Mastrop's been around for fucking ever.
Mhm.
And their collaborations with various companies to produce basically things of similar performance may not have all the same bells and whistles as like the OEM versions.
I got some really nice keyboards.
Dude, yeah, you can get lost in the world of keyboards there. A lot of overpriced shit there too, but these, the original, like the HD 600s and 650s are in like the $300 to $400 price range. These I got for $220.
Nice.
I noticed they've got the dual cables. I suppose the other one looked like it just had the one, huh?
So yeah, this doesn't bother me as much as I thought it would. In fact, it actually gets less messy than just having the one, because these are like, so these are silicone,
Yeah.
and they Y into here, and then this stays here. Whereas the one on the left would come across my body, and the whole thing was paracord, like braided like this,
Right.
and so it wasn't as clean as I thought it would be. And this isn't as annoying as I thought it would be either.
That's good.
It is a little hot in here wearing them though. That's what we
I
drink
believe
for.
it. I got a mechanical keyboard coming from Kickstarter, hopefully this month. That's really nice.
Yeah.
It's one of the first ones that I've seen, and these are starting to get more common, where not only can you change your keycaps, you can actually change out your switches. So it's hot swappable switches. So you can actually pull your switches up and out. So like I got Gatron Blacks, and I'm looking at like some Swift key switches. I could just order a set of Swift key switches and just swap them out. Or just
is that what we're called, the Voltron reboot?
what, Gatron?
There's a guy that I was helping in one of the forums, laser cutting and heat cuts layered keyboards. So they are custom and they are in acrylic layers, and you can customize them however you want. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, there's some really cool shit that you can do with those things. Like
The laser mean acrylic escape key.
Yeah. Send me the key.
Yeah, I could probably pull you some spec
Because that's the problem, right? So you're looking at one of those keys, you're talking 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch, thick. So
Yeah.
Now and the problem is, like, if you already have the key, that's great, because he doesn't make the keys, he makes the whole keyboard, right? So
yeah.
because if you were making the keys, you'd have to have all of those things are usually injection molded. If not, you're gonna have to be milling out one of those keys to be it. So that's a mess.
So actually, Mass, I'm glad you brought this up. I was talking to Todd about this because he's very into keyboards and knows a lot about the manufacturing
Not
process.
that Todd, a different
around
Todd.
it. Not the Scottish one, the Union Todd.
That's pretty cool, Sean.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I was talking about, so my keyboard at work, because I was buying it out of my own pocket, I decided not to buy anything nice. I bought a Red Dragon, which, in my opinion, if you're gonna buy a Cherry clone keyboard, that's the best one to buy. I think I bought one for Chance or Secret Santa a few years ago, and he's still rocking it.
Yeah.
Apologize, anyone wants to listen to it in our Discord. But they make good stuff. But I noticed that on their keycaps, they were very the print on the keycaps is very squarish looking. So I was asking Todd about that, and he basically said can't screen share, Angsty.
Yeah, go
That's
ahead.
fine. I could use it. I could use OBS.
Sean, that picture of it below the MacBook Pro, that's pretty cool. That's a good size.
Oh yeah, it's like my perfect size. Like it's the size I like for a keyboard too.
Okay, so while you pull that up, Fu, interestingly enough, Horror just said something that I can see in the show chat for Plumes, but it's not in the show chat here that everybody else can see. Horror's getting the same treatment as Addy.
Really? What did he say?
I really have to make everyone mods.
He said, "Oh shit, mechanical keyboards is a crazy place to go," which I noticed over
Oh,
there.
yeah.
And then they came over there to the regular chat. And it's not
Yeah,
there.
I don't actually see it in the regular chat. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, hold on.
So-
Let me pin Fu here. All right.
So, and some of you will know what I'm talking about as soon as you see this. But for
Damn, that is
example-
blurry as shit. Is it just
What?
me?
No, it was.
Oh, my little bit potato.
Yeah, you went super potato there.
Yeah,
It's probably
troubles
'cause
of
you
the
sharing
troubles
your
of
screen.
Wi-Fi. So anyway, so like O, for instance, was like printed like this.
What?
Why is it printed like that? Because when it's doing its first run in the tooling process, it can do this in one run to do the lettering through and through, so it looks more proper. It has to go back over it. So you end up, apparently you work out the math, you end up saving retooling costs by basically not printing the keycaps fully. Like you're saving yourself a run or two through the printing process.
No kidding.
Because basically, if it prints like this, you're like, oh, okay, it's convincing enough. Like that's O.
Yeah.
Or like D will be like this, or it won't be.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
You'll find that on the cheaper boards,
Sure.
like the Cooler Master stuff, the Red Dragon. So it's a cost saving, at least what I've been told. But I thought that was interesting. So I wondered why there was that disparity in like printing. I didn't know if it was a stylistic thing or.
Man, that RGB light show. Holy crap.
Right.
Circles up and down, left and right.
The likelihood that I will do any of that is pretty low. But I like it because I can swap out the keys. So like sustainability, right? So like, keys go bad after a while.
Yeah.
If I get a key that goes bad, I just pop in a new key. Problem fucking solved.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I see.
I've had the same keyboard for 5 years. And I must say, I don't think I have to replace a switch yet.
I mean, I will say one of my favorite keyboard for the last many, many years has been like mechanical wise has been the Keychron. Like a little $70 mechanical that you pick your switches at $70 and it's Bluetooth on 3 different devices and USB-C. Like it's just a really nice keyboard.
Yeah, I picked up a Logitech mechanical. It's wired. We've been testing the wired and the Bluetooth one, and they work pretty good. I like the mechanical ones. It's got
I've enjoyed
whatever the switch names are on those.
Yeah.
G.
Yeah, Romer G's. Yeah.
I've enjoyed the Keychron a lot. And then I saw that EPO maker and I was like, well, I'll check that out.
Yeah,
Like it's a cool keyboard. Like it's worth a look.
I've window shopped for keyboards so many times, because like people in our Discord, wanting to upgrade their shit, and then all kinds of links get posted in our chat, and I end up looking at them. I'm like, oh. And I'm like, I have a Philco board. You don't know anything about keyboards. They make like one of the best boards for their purpose on the market. They're solid. They're pricey. I got lucky on an open box one. But yeah, I literally have no purpose for another keyboard unless I want bells and whistles and such.
Right.
Yeah. And I mean, that's ultimately what it comes down to is like, I don't spend any money on vaping anymore. Like I dive into other hobbies.
When I was building this PC that we're on right now, I got the bottom end Corsair. It was all right, but
Like the K60, right?
yeah, okay.
You might find yourself staying on that PC if what I think is going to happen happens.
Yeah,
I'm
I
like,
know, right?
Yeah.
Like I think we talked about it last week a little
Yeah.
bit.
A
So, like, we
little
don't
bit,
have to
yeah.
rehash it.
I've had 3 separate subsequent conversations with other people about it since. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's. I mean,
Tim, you just buy one. Don't make it a hobby. Just get one like me. That fucking works. and that's that. And a solid one that's going to last you a while.
I've been running this G510 for ages. Not mechanical. This thing just goes. It's gigantic. Looks like a fucking skateboard, but
I mean,
like the WoW keyboard.
I still use the Apple keyboard the most because the battery lasts for a fucking month.
Yeah.
It's wireless. It connects quickly, and the battery lasts for a damn month.
Dude.
Yeah, it's the one that's got all the G buttons. It's got G18.
Oh yeah, I remember the Wave.
Is that a Microsoft? Is that a Microsoft Wave?
Dude, I've said for years, Microsoft, the best thing that they make is their hardware.
Yeah,
their keyboards
Microsoft, the Microsoft mice are workhorse.
They're not the best, but they work crazy.
They don't make give them a lot of credit on the Surface too. Like the Surface was a really well designed product.
Yeah.
Their low end mice are garbage now. Back when like they were IntelliMice in my office and shit.
Yeah,
sure.
I legit think nice. I'm not kidding here. I'm not exaggerating. I think this thing is probably around 7 years old. I think
it's pretty old.
And
it's pretty old.
I think I've replaced the batteries twice. And I work from home on this keyboard all day, every day. Yep. The batteries just last. I forget that there's batteries in there sometimes. It's really weird.
Oh, actually, I found you a mechanical gaming keyboard that's ergonomic. I saw it on the internet the other day, and I thought of you.
Oh,
but here's the catch though, because it's a game. It's like in two pieces, but it's 10 kilos. But you'd be using it on your PC.
Well, the PC's where I game though.
Yeah, you don't use your fucking numpad when you're. Unless you're moving around in Civilization, that's what I do. But.
No. Remember, I'm lefty though, so my numpad I use all the time when I'm gaming because I've got my entire right hand.
Oh yeah, that's basically
that's what I mean.
USAD, isn't it?
All I'm saying is you have a piece of the keyboard because it's like a split keyboard. You could just use that as your right hand.
So do you like the numpad for your WSAD kind of thing, like for movement? You numpad for movement?
No, I usually use the arrow keys for movement, but I use the numpad for all the other your skills and all that other shit or whatever.
Oh
yeah, because you
can just say if you're playing something like CS, you need like Control and Alt and Shift. And...
You need all that stuff. Like you're playing most action RPGs or whatever. You got your whole belt, right? You got your skills and your potions and whatever else you're using. Whatever. I've got 12 keys or so that I can map to it, and that's what I use for everything. When I was playing WoW or when I was playing played Final Fantasy 14 for a while a year or two ago, and when you've got so many keys that you need, a lefty's got a lot of those built in that most right-handed people don't have, which I love. I think that's great.
See, I hate the numpad. It makes my keyboard like 3 inches longer.
Yeah,
and it off centers me from where I'm used to working.
It does off center you. You have to let the keyboard go to the right more.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
And I'm not but the problem is like they won't make the fancy like space gray keyboard in the mini version.
Really?
Yeah, they don't make this. They don't make the space gray with the black buttons in the mini version, which this is what matches the whole setup.
That sounds very strange to me.
Otherwise, I would go out and buy one of the mini versions and not use this big ass one with the numpad because it takes up so much space.
That's shocking me that they wouldn't do that.
Right? Well, they only sell it like with the Pro with like the iMac Pro.
Yeah.
So like they don't make the shorter keyboard. When you get the iMac Pro, you get the full numpad keyboard.
I mean, I know they make it with the 10 key, and I know they sell the
black mouse and stuff.
Yeah, exactly, for an extra $10 or something like that. You get the gray one.
I like the black keys and the black mouse, like I do.
Yeah. Well, no, I would too. I mean, I wore out my first one. This is my second one that I've used, and it needs to be replaced. But here's my problem: the new ones are all rechargeable, right?
I don't care. I don't care for that Apple mouse. I love.
I love that. So I love the no wheel thing. It's amazing.
So here's the thing: I don't care for that mouse. What I do care for is the Magic Trackpad, which I want. I almost bought one to use on my PC, but you can't do half of it. You can't do any of the gesture shit. So it's not worth the $120.
I don't like trackpads.
Yeah.
I love the Magic Mouse though, because I get all the gesture controls that I would get from a trackpad with the precision of a mouse.
Right. Like, here's the thing, though.
I love this thing.
The trackpad, when I've used it, I basically have it where I would have a mouse And that's the thing. What the hang up with me is using a trackpad with more involved work is my hand placement, not the actual using it itself. You know what I mean? So once you basically take that kind of those angles of using the trackpad and you move your hand over here and you're doing trackpad things, it's so much nicer. It's smooth and your wrist doesn't hurt as much. It doesn't hurt like after an hour.
Yeah. So I never had that problem with the mouse, but I will admit that it took me a long time to get used to it because you don't hold it like a normal mouse.
No.
Like you basically kind of pinch it and hold it up like
it's like
this.
a claw grip, except for you
it's
touching air.
very different, like the way that you use this thing in comparison to how you use my Razer mouse, which I sit on.
Right.
Like you're basically freeing up those two fingers. I didn't. It took me a while to get used to.
The first time I got one, I was like, "What the? It's not comfortable. It's not supporting my hand." But then I was like, "Holy shit! This thing's like being able to scroll wherever your fingers happen to be, and
swipe gesture and all the other stuff that's in it.
Amazing.
Like it's so useful, and it's not uncomfortable. Like it works really well.
I like the heft of it too, but here's the problem. So this is why I haven't bought that black one to replace this, because I'm like, I've used this for so many long. These things are all like worn down, and the metal battery cap thing, like I have to use tweezers to get it open now because it's warped a little bit over the years.
Yeah.
But the problem is, so the new one's rechargeable, which in theory is fine, but they, in the very non-Apple sort of way, they put the port on the bottom.
On the bottom, yeah.
They did.
Fuck?
You could put it on the back of the front.
Let me tell you. Well, I mean, there's not really a back or a front
space.
to really put it
They
in.
could have done it on the side.
But they could have. But let me tell you, this thing lasts for over a month.
Does it really?
And 15 minutes of charging buys me about 4 hours.
Oh, okay.
So if my battery dies, I plug it in for 10 or 15 minutes and I'm basically good for the rest of the day.
Okay.
And then I just plug it in at night. So it can occasionally be a mild inconvenience, if I'm in the middle of something when it dies, because I'm bad at checking my battery levels.
Yeah, we all
but
are.
the thing never fucking dies.
No kidding. That's actually really good to know. I didn't really think about asking you about it.
Yeah, it never dies. And I've been on the rechargeable ones for a couple of years. It never dies.
Is it a lightning port? It's a USB-C 3?
No, it's the iPhone charger lightning thing, right?
Yeah, lightning one. Yeah.
But they all come with a lightning port to charge them for the most part too, like a lightning cable to charge it. But I mean, they charge so fast and they never die. So I think I recharged mine the other day. And so I've probably been about a week on this charge, or maybe half a week. I'm at 98% battery on the mouse.
All right. Fair enough.
So it just doesn't die.
Yeah. Well, that's like my keyboard though. That's good.
That's good. If you have the rechargeable keyboard, it's very similar to that.
Oh no, I don't have that. I never bought. I don't like that chiclet keyboard.
Oh, so I don't mind it when on anything but the laptops where the keys are shit.
Yeah.
The new Mac, they're better now, but
they fixed on the MacBook the new Airs.
But even the
I don't dislike the chiclet keyboard that much. I have it on this and I have it on the iPad keyboard, and it just doesn't I'm used to it.
Well, but it's that straight thing that I just don't.
You need the curved kind of fancy
hurts
shit.
Me after a while.
Where I'm used to normal keyboard layout. I don't think I could
this,
use
like the cat.
I couldn't use the thing that you.
The big old sausage fingers just flapping about.
And then pecking.
So Master, you wanted to talk about cameras, right?
Yeah, I wanted to see what you got.
Yeah. So I mean, for anybody who's not aware, a couple of years ago, Polaroid made a big fucking comeback, right? And Fuji started doing it too. So they make this camera called the Instax Mini 90, which is just a point and shoot camera that prints out these little credit card size shots. You get one shot, no digital, no nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've really enjoyed shooting and I just turned it on.
Is that pleather?
No, it's plastic. It's made to look like pleather.
It looks
like
plastic. Pleather, yeah.
Yeah.
I've really enjoyed shooting with these things though, because they're really fun. And when you do one shot photography like that, you can do some cool stuff. You can do stuff like double exposure, where you take multiple photos on the same piece,
That's
cool. On the same film, and then you get these really wild effects and shit.
Yeah.
But also it's one photo. It's not digital. There's no post editing. Like you're capturing a moment for you rather than like making something that you're going to put somewhere else, right?
Yeah, in a frame or whatever, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I mean, like I have a whole bunch of these like lining like my posters, like on the bottom of my posters, just kind of jammed in there.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I took some shots that I really like. But looking into this stuff, I found another company that made a fucking camera, and it was just one of the coolest things in the fucking world. And I had to buy one. It just got here today, and this is it. Like, this is such a cool fucking camera.
It's a cool camera.
So it's a TLR, which is a twin lens reflex camera. So basically, you have the lens that you see through and the lens that you shoot through.
Right.
And you look down into a viewfinder at waist level to take a photo. So like you can kind of see my ceiling fan spinning up there when you look in there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that makes this guy unique is that it's the only instant camera, or like the only Polaroid style camera that is fully manual focus and manual aperture down to like 5.6 aperture. So you can get like the blurred background and shit like that out of it, right?
That's cool.
Which you can't get from any of the other ones. So like this thing is just super, super fun, but it's also kind of expensive. Not expensive in that the camera costs a lot of money, because it does. Expensive in that like film for Instax is like 80 cents a shot.
Yeah.
And like when you have to do manual focus and aperture and you don't know how much light's coming in, so you don't know what the end result of the photo is going to look like. Like I can tell you that even today, we probably shot 30 shots through it or something, which, you know, is $30.
$30, yeah.
Maybe half of them came out shit as I'm learning this camera. Some of them would just be like overexposed that it's just white.
Shit.
Some of them would be underexposed, it's just black.
So you can't tell how the exposure is going to be.
So it has a light meter. It's supposed to tell you if you're getting enough light, but I will say that the light meter on this thing is shit. So like you're kind of eyeballing it. Like you can do step up, step down, change your aperture. The film is always ISO 800, so like you're always stuck with ISO 800 on the film. The other problem is I don't have the lens kit for it yet. So when you go outside, because of the way this thing is made and the aperture, it takes in more light than most cameras.
Yeah.
So like most of my outside shots are completely washed out because I don't have any EV filters on it. And their filter kit's like an extra $100.
Wow.
I mean, their filter kit's getting here on Friday, but like it's an extra $100 just to get the filters.
Yeah.
So that you can go outside and take photos.
Is there a battery in there?
It runs on 3 AA's.
Wow. That's got some weight then.
It feels thick. It's a metal frame.
Yeah.
But like it's got a lot of like cool little features. Like you can pop up a magnifying glass if you want to focus more. So, like if you want to get fine-tuned focus, you pop up a magnifying glass.
That's hilarious. I know, right?
So my grandmother had basically the exact same thing, you know, from when it was a million years ago kind of thing, right?
What is that? A peephole?
So if you don't want to shoot looking into the viewfinder, you can pop this front piece down and look through the hole here and shoot like that. For quick shots that you're looking through. It's got a lot of really cool features. I mean, even the flash is wrong button. So even the flash is like pop up and hidden. So like you can pop out the flash and then it turns it on.
That's cool.
Well, at least they don't make you buy flash bulbs.
Yeah, no, right?
You just
that'll be $25 a shot.
Right? Closes, cameras turned off.
How many of those you reckon are?
It's a raffle camera, $25 a shot.
Oh, it's even got a tripod mount.
A what? Oh yeah, it's got a tripod mount on it too.
Fantastic.
And then like you get your filter.
That's a 510 connector.
One of the other could be probably one of the other benefits of this is the film is manual eject. So like this guy, I can do double exposure, which means I can take 2 shots on the same piece of film.
Mm-hmm.
This guy, I can take as many shots on the same piece of film I want because you have to hit the manual eject.
Yeah.
And the other thing is it has a automatic mode and it has a bulb mode. So if I'm in bulb mode, however long I press this button up to 30 seconds, it'll keep taking the photo. Like it'll keep the shutter open.
Yeah, I was gonna say, does it keep taking the photo or does it just keep taking the photo?
Super long exposure.
Yeah. So like I have the ability to do super long exposure on fucking instant film. Like it's just it's really fun to shoot with. Like I'm not gonna lie.
How much was the camera?
like $360.
Addy said, "How much is film, Sean?" I think you said it was like 80 cents
80
a
cents.
shot. Right?
So if you get it like in bulk, you can get it anywhere from like 60 to 80 cents per film. They come in 10 packs, and they have all different kinds. So like they have like black frame, they have monochrome, like black and white film, which I shot some of that today. They have like this because fucking kids like the instant photo thing.
Sure.
So, like this is like neon colored borders. You can get all different kinds of film. One of the things I want to do with it in my plan is to like really like kind of share it with the kid. Like, let's go out and let's take some shots, and like you'll have these things forever, and we can hang them on your wall, and there'll never be another copy like it.
Right.
Which is kind of fucking cool.
At least when she appreciates that it's $1 a shot.
Right. Well, that's why we're not doing it yet.
Yeah.
Because like she has a digital camera, and this is her digital camera technique. Ready? She goes, "Say cheese." Click, move immediately. And like it takes like 2 seconds for that to all finish on a cheap digital camera.
Yeah.
So she's just like click, move.
So, but Polaroid did come out with their 2-step cameras, right? So
Polaroid
they
has
can
a
use
bunch of new cameras. So you can use the 600 or the I-type. The problem is, and the reason why I don't use the Polaroid stuff, 2 reasons. One, their film is super inconsistent apparently. But
it's the original 8x10 film though, isn't it?
No, because the film recipe was lost. So they tried to get as close as they could to make it, but it's inconsistent. So it gets swatches and there's bad batches. But more than that is the fucking cost.
Yeah.
Like if the Instax stuff, you can get 60 to 80 bucks a shot. And that includes if you get one of the wider formats, it's still about the same cost. The I-type film is $2 a shot.
Whew.
Like that gets really expensive really fucking fast.
I need to start making that shit myself. Make some.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna stick to digital.
I still have.
I got a few film cameras.
I still have a few Polaroid packs that are still sealed.
Like the 600.
Yeah.
So that's
I think it's the 600.
Fessy
The 600 has a battery pack in it.
Fessy just asked the question that I was going to ask earlier because Polaroid went tits up. So did they file a Chapter 11 or whatever so they could come back, or did
they might be like Gibson guitar and have been.
So this is what happened
numerous times.
They filed Chapter 11. They went up. Mm-hmm. Somebody else bought the rights to them. Tried to remake it. It was like called the Impossible Project. Mm-hmm. But very recently, Polaroid just bought itself back. So like now they're making their own cameras again.
Okay.
So the newest one they put out is one that they're making now because they just bought themselves back.
Okay.
And it was tempting. Like, I almost looked at that camera.
So, Ahmed, how many filthy hipsters are wandering around Brooklyn with that thing that Sean's got there?
I've seen people with the Instax ones, with the small ones.
The Instax ones are cool.
Hey, you got a visitor.
Uh-oh.
I mean, don't get me wrong. This is totally a filthy hipster camera.
It is, but it's also cool.
She opened a pint and it was already melted.
But it's a lot of fun to like just go out and take photos, right?
Yeah.
Like I've had a lot of fun even today, like just walking around the neighborhood, just going out and like trying to dial everything in and be like, all right, like let me see if I can get a good picture of the kid. Like it's just been a lot of fun to play around with. One of the things what I want to do is
left.
Go to conferences. And like snap photos at conferences and then just give people the photo. Like we went on vacation a couple weeks back and or maybe a couple months back, and we did Skyline Drive, like Blue Ridge Parkway kind of thing through Virginia, and we'd stop at all these overlooks and take like digital photos. But I had this guy with me, so I'd like see somebody else there like taking a photo or like sitting or something, and I'd just snap a photo of them and I'd walk up and be like, here you go, and then I just walk away.
Yeah.
Because it's the only copy, so it's not like creepy. Like I just gave you the photo of yourself. Like that's a unique thing for you.
Right.
It was just fun to do.
I'm a little surprised that they haven't come up with something like that, but it also has like a mini SD card or something on it that takes. Digital
they have them.
Oh, is that
but
right?
Like
that's the thing. It kind of defeats the purpose of it. In that
exactly,
it's a physical media revival.
Well, no, I mean, but the physical part is awesome, right? But it would also.
But you
be
want the
cool.
digital shot too.
Yeah, it would be cool to take. You know,
to have it like at a backup.
Here's your instant one or whatever. But then we can print it up for the house or whatever. You know, I mean, you could.
Yeah.
Or blow it up a little
So
bit. Right?
I have too many photos in here, and I'm not willing to lose $4 in about $4 in film because I got 4 shots left in here.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'd open it up because if you open it up, it
Yeah.
just takes the film pack and there's nothing else there.
Oh.
Like there's the shutter and the film pack, and that's it. So the shutter opens, it puts it on the film, and then you eject the film, and the film on this guy ejects up through here.
Oh,
So
really?
It just slides out of the top right up there.
I feel like I'm trying to remember my grandmother's. I feel like it kicked out the bottom.
It might have. So this is based on what's called a Rolleiflex
Yeah.
TSR, like an old school camera. Rolleiflex went under too. And then Rolleiflex just came back and partnered with this company to make an updated version of this camera. But it's like $100 more expensive. And I'm like, nah, it's very minimal changes for an extra $100. Like, I'm not that interested.
Sure.
But it's a cool fucking thing. Like the physical media is cool. Like I listen to vinyl. Like I like listening to vinyl. I like just being able to snap a physical shot because I realized like I lose digital photos like crazy. And like I don't know, it's not as none of them feel as personal. Like I've got a couple pictures of my kid up there that like they're the only pictures that like that's the only picture. I can't share it. If I give it to somebody, I don't have it anymore.
Yeah. Like
it's feels very personal, which is cool.
Yeah, fuck that. You want a copy? Come take a picture of it yourself.
Right? It just feels very personal.
Yeah, I'm not. I can't disagree with that. Horse says it's a moment. Digital is against my inclination. Okay, I mean I get it.
He's not entirely wrong. Like you're capturing more of a specific moment in time than you are like a photo.
So my cousin has a family photo that I thought there was only one copy of that my sister has, and she had it at her place. I'm like, how did you get a copy? Can I get a fucking copy? Like, come on. I'm not gonna sit and fucking frame it and put it in my place, you know?
Yeah.
But like even today was a lot of fun with the house guests that I had.
Sure.
You know, like they'd be playing with the kid, and like I'd see somebody playing with my kid, and I just kind of like grab this guy because you know I'm not familiar with this one yet, so I'm not gonna take that chance. And I'd just be like snap, and then I go like, here you go, like you have a memory of playing with my kid that like you're the only person who has it.
Right.
It was just a cool thing. But I know Mass like was curious about this, so I figured I'd chat about it a little bit.
It's an awesome piece. There's no doubt about it. Not only is it form factor cool, I do understand the whole idea behind the Polaroid thing. It's cool.
Somebody was saying a lot of the reviews on this camera talk about like one of the best parts about it is if you go out to shoot like and just do like street photography or something with it, everybody wants to stop and talk to you about it, and like they're very willing to be in photos and they don't care because it's very unique looking. Because I don't think a camera has like a TLR has really been made since like the 60s.
Right. Wait, Tim, you're doing what? That's a moment. How dare you digitize those things?
Right?
Actually, dude, so Tim, in the process of selling my house, we had a shoebox of photos.
Yeah.
My family took a lot of fucking photos. Like photos from my dad's side of the family before my parents got married, plus wedding photos, plus fucking any family trip there were photos from. My brother sent them out to be digitized, and so there weren't that many films. Like my parents' wedding film was actually on reel to reels. We had to have that converted. But I want to say actually I have uncompressed. The folder of the family photos is 40 gigs uncompressed.
Yeah.
Jesus.
A lot of fucking photos.
A lot of photos. So Tim, I've actually got a closet right over there that is full. I mean, there's probably multiple dozens of VHS tapes, the same thing for when I was a kid. And it's totally cringy the last time we did watch them or whatever. And, you know,
dude, it's great. It's so great when you do, though.
It is.
Right?
Because basically, me and my siblings have been having Zoom calls every Thursday.
Yeah.
And I go through, because I've used it as an excuse, because it's a lot of photos to go through. And I started going through them in August of last year. Maybe a little over halfway through all the photos. So I go through and I find something embarrassing of a sibling and I set it as my digital background.
Nice.
Great.
Yeah.
The other thing that I would have to say for people who are like looking at the Polaroid thing, and like another reason, it becomes so much less about taking the perfect photo. Like when I go out with a digital, like I'm really trying to take the perfect photo.
Sure.
That's what I'm after. Like I want the lighting to be just right. I want everything to be set up just right. Like,
how is that any different from film though?
Because like on a Polaroid,
count on film.
You have no real fucking control over it being perfect.
Yeah.
So like this is one of my favorite photos. And like this is not a spectacular photo in any way, shape, or form. Like not even a little bit.
Yeah.
The way it came out and the way it looks and everything about it, like it's fucking cool.
Yeah, photos of children should be exempt from this one. You know, it's like,
well, I mean, I got like
all I'm saying is be a bad photo of a child and it's still adorable.
Fine. I'll pull down a non-photo of a child. Print it on like fucking polka dot paper because it's a thing. But like this is just like a lake with canoes.
Yeah.
And like it's not about like it being the perfect photo. It just captured that moment in a cool way and adds its own unique coloration and like weird shit and
a strive for excellence, not perfection.
Looks like a fucking Polaroid, right? Mm-hmm. Like it looks aged and like not perfect.
Right.
And there's something kind of cool about going out and instead of trying to technically get the best shot, like just shoot the thing and see what comes out.
Right.
So those new Polaroid cameras are $140.
Yep.
Mm.
I mean, dude, honestly, I wouldn't go with the new Polaroids. I would go with the Fuji stuff. It's a lot cheaper to shoot on.
Yeah.
This one has been really nice, but for a little bit more than this one, you can get an automatic glass, which has a glass lens, which is nicer than this one. And I almost bought the automatic glass, and then I decided that I was going to buy the Mint instead because it's a lot different.
Right.
I actually do need to get like an Instax photo album so I can put these things in an album. I want to put a like corkboard in my kid's room and like hang photos in there. But like right now, I've just got like stacks of photos sitting on my desk. But on the note of digital, Brian, I believe you played a video game that we talked about last week.
We did.
At least part of it. I'm going to have to come back when you finish it now, but
yeah. So after Sean and I talked about the Final Fantasy VII remake, I was going to have some time this last weekend, and I was like, okay, all right, I'll buy a game. So I bought a game, downloaded it, and started playing it. It's been a while since I since I played a game, you know, like some sort of RPG or whatever, that was almost perfectly seamless between a cutscene and what you're playing.
Right?
And the landscapes and stuff. It is a beautiful game. It is really quite strikingly cool, I think, anyway.
No, it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's a gorgeous game.
So, in general, I think, and to your point yesterday, you know, not wanting to give too much away, I think it's really, it was really good in general. The combat is, I want to like the combat more than I do. The problem,
see, I loved it. I love the combat.
I think I love it for my character that you're controlling.
Sure.
But your other characters, they don't do enough, right? They don't just auto attack to build up their attack bar.
Yeah, not super well anyway.
I mean, sometimes I'm gonna see if I can't avoid like spoilers or anything, but like say you've got like a character that you're using as a healer, right? And you're the damage DPS guy, right? So I'm going in there and I'm doing your hack and slash thing. I'm Cloud, right? I mean, everybody's Cloud. So I tend to control Cloud mostly, but like if you got like a healer character over there on the side, they've got to auto attack before they can heal or cast or do whatever they're gonna do, and sometimes they will, but most of the time
they have to build up the meter.
Yeah,
you're right.
Like I have to manually switch over to them to get them to auto attack so they can fucking heal me. Like, and that's I hate it. Like I just want them to.
I can understand that.
And I don't understand why in your battle settings, like why you can't tell them to focus on something. So for example, if my guy is getting hurt, there's nothing to make them say as a, you know, here's my algorithm of how my character wants to play. I want him to be a caster. I want him to be an attacker. I want him to be a defender.
I forget that you're way more into like the strategy back end of that.
A little bit.
Like, I just hack and slash shit up and like I'm happy.
Yeah, I am too. And that's the part I'm totally happy with the combat. As Cloud, it's fun. Or as Oh crap! I almost said somebody else's name. I don't want to. I guess
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't
the
matter.
original
The
Final Fantasy
as
came out
Tifa.
like
Remake of a 20-year-old game. Dog.
Right, exactly. So as Tifa or as Cloud or somebody that you're doing direct damage, it's great. I enjoy the
But
combat.
I hate playing as Barrett.
Yeah, Barrett's a little hard.
Yo, put some respect on Barrett.
I like Barrett as,
I like
a
Barrett
character.
as a
I don't like
character.
playing him in the game.
Yeah.
Because that long
It's like
range,
saying you're a nice guy, but
it just
Okay.
it doesn't
You don't like him.
feel engaging because
Yes.
you're standing back and you're pressing a button and he's shooting a fucking gun.
Right.
It doesn't feel
because you know why? Because he's smart.
But like playing Cloud or playing Tifa.
He's like, fuck all this magic shit and swords and God knows what.
Yeah.
But
like-
seriously, like playing
like-
Tifa or Cloud is engaging. Like
It
you're
totally
engaged in combat.
It totally is. And so that's the only thing I really wish that the game would have some way of adjusting their
That's fair.
behavior in the combat. So that
How
way
are
they
you
can
finding-
enable you to do what you want to do, right?
How are you finding how they're telling the story so far?
So it is at least as bad as other games of that ilk, where you feel like you're playing a little bit of watching an anime more than playing a game most of the time. You spend a lot of time in conversation and in cutscenes, and that's okay in this. I think it's okay in this one because A, it looks really good, and B, the story's good, right? It's fine.
I like all the expansion on the original story too. Like I like the more in-depth character backgrounds, and I like that stuff. But like when I want to talk to you is when you get to like the later
Towards the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I
When,
thought I was
like,
getting there, but you said I'm not quite there yet.
certain things that kind of you're playing and you're like, what the fuck is going on here? I don't remember this. Like,
Right.
what the fuck is this?
Well, that's happened a few
Like-
times, obviously, because it wasn't happening before.
when some of that unwinds a little bit,
Yeah.
like that's when I really want to fucking talk to you.
Okay. Fair enough.
So I'll tell you another game remake that's fucking coming out later this month that I'm really excited for. And I don't know if anybody remembers the original Destroy All Humans.
Mm-hmm.
You remember Destroy All Humans? They're remaking it. Like it's coming out in a full remake like at the end of this month.
Oh, okay.
Like July 26th. It's like $30 pre-order on Steam right now.
That's cool.
And it like, man, I like just mindless violence and alien abductions and all the jokes in that. I just fucking loved that game. There's such fond memories of that game. I'm very excited to play the remake.
When are we gonna get a Space Quest reboot? Talking about
Ooh.
doing dumb shit in space.
Yeah.
Give me a Space Quest reboot. dog.
I
I think
Sierra
Space
games,
Quest 4 was my favorite.
Wasn't
There
it
were like
Sierra?
a million of them. There were a million of them.
Wasn't it
Space
Sierra
Quest.
that made them, right?
Yeah,
King's
Sierra
Quest,
did
Space
make them.
Quest.
I feel like we are in the remake of video games era right now.
Yeah.
But
Somebody
I-
realized, wow, this really works on movies. Let's do it for games.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like Space Quest is still obscure in terms of like, because the people who are remaking all those games grew up on them, right? But even within that generation, Space Quest is still an obscure game. So I have hopes it gets redone. It might eventually. I doubt it will.
I'll go with a deep pull and say I'd love to see them remaster Hugo's House of Horrors.
That one I never played. I remember it coming out, but I never played that
Maniac Mansion?
Yeah. That
The Maniac Mansion was the next game after Hugo's House of Horrors, pretty much.
Oh, okay.
Hugo's House of Horrors was like a DOS game where you had to like perfectly type in what you wanted to do.
Right.
To do it. Like,
Hey, you
but,
talked
like
to a
I
guy who
have
played
very
in mud
fond
for years.
Yeah, I have very fond memories of that game too.
Yeah.
But like we're getting to that point, like, you know, Destroy All Humans, Final Fantasy VII, like we're getting to a lot of remakes at this point.
Yeah.
Saints Row the Third just came out with a remastered game, which
really?
has been fun. Like it looks better. There's more stuff
the
going on in the
remaking shit
world.
is EA screwed the pooch on.
Yeah.
Several things.
Several
Like, oh, all
things.
these like new franchises, we beat the horse too hard on them. So,
But I mean, I enjoyed playing through some of the Saints Row the Third remastered too. Like it's been fun. And there's no new stuff.
Right.
It just looks better.
Yeah. So they're going through old school tech at the moment, and I have to say, as much I definitely had a Walkman, you know, back when
I had a
cassettes were
Walkman.
thing, but one of my and then it went to a Discman, of course, right? But after
Mm-hmm.
that, I had a part-time job, so I was working like crazy to afford some of these things. But I saved up and bought a mini disc player. The mini discs were so cool,
Right?
So
they were
cool.
dope, but dude, I never got one.
So does anybody
Before I
remember
was,
like
so mad I could never have one.
anywhere that I went when I was a kid or like teenager anyway, I had the Sony Sports CD Walkman CD player.
Mm-hmm.
like the no skip, all that. The one that had like the thing you could put your hand through it and you controlled it with a fucking thumbstick.
Yep.
But I always had the hand thing, the Velcro thing, tied around my belt buckle.
Nice.
Like, or tied around like my belt loop.
Yeah.
So no matter where I went when I was a teenager, there was a fucking Sony CD player hanging from my belt loop.
Yeah, dude.
Always.
Always.
And I would just reach down and I would mess with the joystick and move to the next song. And like, that was just the thing for me back then. Right.
So
I took an 8-track and I put it in my pocket there.
About mid 80s or so, mid late 80s is when I think one of the first Walkmans came out, and I was mowing lawns when I was a kid, young. I was mowing lawns for it, and I saved up for it, so that way while I was mowing lawns, I could be listening to music, right? I had my Def Leppards on, and whatever I was listening to at the time, and that was the best. And somebody was talking about making mixtapes off the radio. Absolutely,
oh, yeah,
recorded shit off the radio on a cassette.
Yep.
Yeah, dude. So
that was pre my teenage years, but like totally part of my childhood.
Absolutely.
I was commiserating with someone in the Discord about this the other day. Anyone who grew up in NYC or in the New York area knows K-Rock was a legendary fucking radio station. That's what Howard Stern was on.
Yeah.
So Opie and Anthony were on before they jumped to satellite. And I used to record shows off that shit all the time. Or if like, I know Radiohead did a show late night on one of the shows. I recorded that. That's on a cassette somewhere under my bed.
Yeah.
One of the really interesting things is at least the stuff making a comeback tour, especially technology making a comeback tour, is at least kind of deserved.
Yeah.
Like tapes and CDs sucked. Vinyl was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
But like, I'm really glad that tape decks aren't making a comeback right now.
I mean, tapes.
Never know.
Tapes were
Cassettes,
good for
no, they
some
are
things.
actually a lot of like re-releases on vinyl are also being re-released.
Oh no shit.
Yeah.
Tapes were
The
great
problem
for
is
the time.
tapes
right?
and CDs could, vinyl has always had the highest audio quality.
For sure, but what tapes brought to the table was portability, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean that was super cool. But I agree that bringing that particular medium back doesn't really make.
I don't know that it's really necessary.
Yeah.
Like vinyl still makes sense because like you're still getting some of the highest quality music out of vinyl.
Yeah.
Whereas like now, like every fucking streaming service does high quality audio, like almost at CD level.
Right.
Right. Like CD was the master of quality for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
All these streaming services actually now sell themselves as saying same as CD quality.
Right.
Which is amazing to me.
Right. Well, it's digital, right? I mean,
Until you move into like when you start making those giant ass MP3 CDs and the quality goes way the fuck down.
Right.
Well, no, that's why you have headphones like this, because that's why I still have physical music on my hard drive.
Right.
Yep.
The
Well, so I
the
actually
uncompressed stuff.
So I started I primarily use Apple Music, but on my personal computer, like on my computer here, I have what's the other one? The really fucking high res streaming music app they have now. It's kind of fucking expensive, and I think I'm still paying for it. I'm gonna find the name of this thing now. Damn it.
Do they like stream Flax or something? Or what is the?
It streams basically at FLAC, but even more than that, some artists will upload their masters. So like you get it at master quality.
I would just say, just find a good FLAC torrent website. They're tough to come by and they don't last too long.
I like digital music. I like using digital music though.
Not that we recommend that.
No.
Yes. Tidal is the one that I'm talking about.
Does it really matter?
Oh, Tidal.
Dude,
Yeah.
Metallica's listening right now. Lars
Yeah,
Ulrich is going
right?
to get your shit.
Caleb Linus pulls gold.
Lars is gonna nap to your ass.
He's going to nafta you.
But like that's the thing, because of the way Tidal works, like if I wanted to go grab like very specifically something, there's an option that I might have better than flat quality because I might have like a master quality version on Tidal.
Right.
Which like the master quality versions sound even better. The problem is for what most people listen through, like you can't fucking tell the difference.
Right.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Or
even
they're just gonna get in their car and turn their satellite
Yeah.
radio that's shit fucking 192 kbps or even lower.
Right.
even
Oh,
having
yeah.
a nice listening rig. I'll be honest, listening through Tidal and listening through like Apple Music, it's again, this much fucking difference.
Do you know if they changed the quality on Satellite Radio? I don't think they have.
I doubt it.
But a friend of mine was trying to tell me, he's like, oh, the quality's so much better now. And I'm like, it might be the stereo in the brand new car that you just bought that sounds
Yeah, I was
better.
gonna say. Well,
I have
that's
a
the thing.
feeling
If you
that the
have
quality
a
of-
good quality receiver, if you
Yeah.
have the best quality shit for that service, then
Some of these guys probably aren't even using monster cables.
They don't even have Dynamat in their cars. Freaking plebs.
Hot take. I've had 2 sets of Monster guitar cables,
Mhm.
and they're the only set that has survived since I bought them. Every other cable I've bought since hasn't made it to now. We pour one out.
My problem is if the shit's not
Otherwise,
plugged
fuck their cables.
in,
I'm not gonna
cable's
buy a
not
Monster
plugged in,
HDMI
I'm gonna
cable,
lose it. And if I like, if my cable is not actively in use, it goes in a bucket, basically like a bin. I don't fish for cables in that bin. I just order a fucking new one.
Duro said, how is Sat Radio still around? I wonder that myself because
They have incredibly aggressive sales tactics.
Yes, they do.
yeah, sure.
They're
Like,
still
when I
in
bought
every
my
single
car-
car you buy. They're
Oh
still
yeah,
in.
when I bought my
And
car, it came with Sirius,
yeah.
and then they call you after you're done. They're like, "Do you want it?" And I'm like, "No, I don't listen to it." Well, do
Yeah.
you want it if it's free? I'm like, "No, I don't listen to it." Like, well, we're willing to give you 6 months for free, and then we'll start charging you. No, I
That's
don't.
how you-
Okay, my iPod's gonna get plugged into this car anyway.
Right.
But even if you say, like, if you keep saying no, they'll go okay, and then they'll call you later, and they'll call you again,
Yeah.
and they'll call you again.
As a matter of fact, there's a
And
free
you know
week.
what I love doing?
There's
Saying
a
no.
free week going on right now. So I notice it because I get in my truck and the maps auto starts updating with live traffic.
Mhm.
And I'm like, oh, it must be a serious weekend. Turn it
Yeah.
on. Yep, sure it is. Now, I will say that taking long road trips, it was nice to be able to just be, like sometimes I would just listen to Click and Clack, the car guys.
Click and clack, baby.
And, just stuff like that.
The
But
problem is, I can use Apple Music and launch radio.
sure.
Well,
I mean, if you
Jim's-
have a good phone signal, right? And
I
most of
got
the
into
time
the
you're
habit
driving
when I
through-
go on long drives. Like, I do audiobooks now. I don't even do music on long.
Well,
Yeah.
gyms take a lot of advantage of those streaming services like Pandora and
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
all of those.
but you're right. You have to have a strong phone signal.
Yeah.
But, like, I do audiobooks on long trips. Like, audiobooks actually engage me more. And that didn't start happening until before I moved down to Virginia. When I was still living in Maryland and working in Virginia, and I had like a 5-hour drive both ways,
Mhm.
like all around. Like, I was listening to music, and I was getting up at like 4 o'clock in the morning to drive into work, and I was leaving at like 8 at night in hopes to miss traffic. And I was fucking exhausted.
Yeah.
So like, I was listening to music. I'm like, this is putting me to sleep. I switched to podcasts. I'm like, I can do podcasts. And then like, even podcasts were like, okay, I'm out of podcasts I want to listen to.
Yeah.
I started doing audiobooks, but I was finishing like 2 audiobooks a fucking week because I was in the car so much.
Yeah.
But like, they really do help you engage a little bit more. Like, I think I've listened to Ready Player One narrated by Will Wheaton like 3 times
Oh, really?
because it's narrated by Will Wheaton and it's awesome. Like, that book is really good, and narration by Will Wheaton is really good.
Oh, look, I just saw Rob say something in Plumes chat, but not in over here either. It's so weird. Freaking Google. I swear to God. Oh, well. Okay. We've been yammering on for quite some time. I don't think I have anything else to talk about. Anybody else?
No, I got headphones. I think I talked about those already.
Yeah.
I got a hipster camera. We talked about that.
Yeah, I did. I got a new wine opener.
Oh, nice.
Went with the
That looks fancy.
Joseph one. It's not that.
Is that the Apple of wine openers?
No, it's not that expensive. It was like $30. But I recently lost my old rabbit. I had one of those rabbit ones, and this one's kind of neat because the rabbit is physically large. Like it takes up a lot of room. This one is chubby, but it's all in one thing. But
Yeah.
It clicks out and then does the
nice.
same sort of
Oh,
rabbit.
okay, I think my brother has a similar one like that.
It's pretty slick, and it actually will go in a drawer, which I'm kind of pumped about. So when my folks come by or whatever, when we open some wine or something, now I got something to do. Just cool.
Nice.
I will say this: my brother's a big wine guy. He puts an aerator on his bottles.
Mm-hmm.
Proper. Good way to do it.
Yeah,
As
if you
opposed to
don't
using a
decant it
decanter.
out and let it air out,
Yeah, so I like the airing it per pour as opposed to putting it in a decanter.
Yeah. But I mean, if you got
decanter's another fancy thing you could fucking break.
Yeah, exactly. But if you got 3 or 4 people, you're totally gonna go through it anyway. It's not like you gotta worry about not going through a bottle.
You know, pop the cork, screw the aerator on, done.
Yeah, it works. I agree. I'm a fan. I don't think all wine probably needs it, but some should, and some
Reds
just
do.
benefits from it.
IMO.
What's that?
Reds need a bit of breathing.
Most of the time, yeah. Especially like cabs and.
I don't like cabs.
No, too dry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a Malbec guy.
Malbec, absolutely. That would do well with one. A little airy as well. I like old vine Zen, like Red Zen. Red Zen's pretty good too. Anyway, thanks everybody for coming out and joining us. Thanks for being patient with Matthew, who's doing his fatherly duties as we are wrapping up here. But thank you everybody for coming out. Thank you for participating in chat. You guys kick ass as always. We will be back next week. Same Plumes time, same Plumes channel. You guys,
bye.
Take it easy.
Have a good holiday.
That's right. Have a good holiday.
Marco.
Bye.
Cheese on apple pie.